Hello! He's Chris. I'm Dave. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm great. So great. Can't believe how great. Is it February yet?
No. Yeah, I think it's actually still April of 2020. I don't think we ever left the month.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch? We never talked about this. Did you watch Lost when it was on?
I did. Do you think that's what's happening?
I'm Desmond.
Okay.
I am Desmond sitting in I'm like on the little exercise bike. I got a little hi-fi. I'm drop the needle. Yeah. Every day. No, everything's great. What are we talking about? We're talking about football, the NFL. It's fine. It's run by idiots, but so what? Still fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to be here. I now have, I have a kindergarten Spanish reading level. Like, I accomplished something this week.
This is going to be a continuing storyline on the Thursday show on the Harris Football Channel. If you want more Dave learning Spanish, make sure to like this video.
Yeah, like this video. You can tweet at me. I'll tell you how my kindergartners correcting my pronunciation of words that I don't know what they mean. That's my life now.
Daddy, that's dirty. Don't say that.
No, roll your R's. I can't do that, honey. What do you mean you can't? Okay, I'm going to go do what I can do. Talk about fake football. Leave me alone.
Am I even your daughter? All right, so here we go. Let's do it.
So today's show, we're going to talk about our DraftKings lineups, our contests for week 14. Where are we now? We're April. I got all confused.
14.
Perfect. Yeah. But before we talk about that, we looked over the ranks, and I want to ask you, are we really recommending we start J.K. Dobbins? Like, he had a good game, but we're going into a must-win playoff matchup for a lot of people, Chris. And you've got him in there at the tail end of your starting, ranked 22 or 23 standard PPR. What does it look like? Because I'm not as up on it as you are.
Well, so I like that you're holding my feet to the fire on the ranks. I mean, partly he's number 22 because I'm number 30 and I'm not playing this week. It's gross, but no, there's a lot of same seeming options. That is very fair. And of course the question with Dobbins, I'm going to show you some plays that are going to convince you that he's pretty good, but that's really not the big question when it comes to Dobbins. But I mean, I'll mostly just start here with the Tuesday night game against Dallas. This was his first carry on Tuesday night. It opens wide up for him because it's the Dallas defense. But when he gets to the top of the run and plants his foot and eludes the safety, look at the snap on that cut. I want to watch it a couple of times. Just the acceleration coming out of the cut. When you see, this is just a viewing tip for people. When you see a safety who thinks he's got his feet planted, have to dive to get a guy, that guy's good. That guy can accelerate, and he does. Now, I'm not even going to show. Let's just look at the workload. I'll show more plays in a second. But the problem, of course, is with that last play I showed you is that it was his first carry, and it came with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Mark Ingram is always going to start every week. That's just the veteran deference that's given. And Gus Edwards was the second man in. I mean, Dave, I can't give you a definitive answer on whether Dobbins is going to touch it more than this, right? This is 11-7-7 is not what you're hoping for. No question about it. Could you tell me that you just don't trust the workload? Yep, because I don't know. Nobody knows what it's going to be beforehand. But why does this kid excite us? So you just saw the cut that he can make when he's at top speed. This one just shows you the speed pulling around the left edge. I mean, the Cowboys defense made Gus Edwards look like a world beater too. And this touchdown here, it's fake. Fine. I mean, you said it. He produced, but I mean, it was fake. It was the very end. It's a nice cut. The game's over. Dallas isn't really. Can we just say not giving maximal effort on this play? I think I will say that. But here's just a few more plays. That a couple plays ago, the one when he ran around the edge, like the speed is real, and the Steeler defense, he's doing it to them here. They're fast. And for 215 pounds, and he's a squat little, muscled up, stronger guy, like that kid can really scoot. If I were the Browns on Monday night, I would be thinking about this play whenever Dobbins is in the game. Does this one look familiar to you, Dave? If I were the Browns Monday night, I would be thinking about this play whenever Dobbins is in the game. So listen, he's done other things, but when we talk about shooting for upside, well, that play is what we're talking about. He's fast. I don't know the workload, but Dobbins really does have major upside. And I'll leave you just, Dave, with this parting thought, which is there's this feeling that somehow, just by comparison, Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to ask you right now. You're on a team. You've got a team in the playoff game, and you're having to weigh Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins. Does one of them make you feel more comfortable than the other? I'm really asking.
I think Taylor, but did you hear my voice go up there? I think Taylor.
Did. So does the market. I think I keep getting questions on Twitter. Like, isn't Taylor a top 10 running back right now? Why is Taylor not close to your top 10? And, well, it is a good matchup against the Raiders, so it's not like I'm dissing Taylor. And I probably also would use Taylor over Dobbins. I have him ranked that way. But it's funny that we're making that decision when, that chart that I just showed you with the workload, if I showed you the Colts chart, you wouldn't feel that much better. Taylor had more work than the other two guys, but not a lot more. It's just at some point we decided one of them is safe and the other one isn't. I think they're both not safe. I think they both have upside. In fact, I think Dobbins is a better player, but of course, Cleveland is a harder matchup than Vegas, I think. So I, too, would prefer Taylor, but I just think it's funny that we twist ourselves into knots when, in fact, I don't know, most of these backfields seems like that they've got big workload questions, and Dobbins does have a big workload question, and people can absolutely say, I don't want to mess with it. I'd rather go with someone I think I know, is going to get 75% of the workload. That's probably maybe not Dobbins, and I get it. But for the upside of those speed plays, I say use him? Question mark, question mark.
I mean, and the drop off after him in your ranks, like you said, we go down pretty far and you're on the list. It's right there. Go to Harris Football and check out the ranks. Yeah. Chris is right there.
Right. I am on there. I even put a hyperlink, because I link to the YouTube channels, YouTube shows that we do for each player, right? Mm-hmm. So I hyperlinked myself, and it's some 80-year-old falling down.
Okay. Let's transition from the Monday night game to talking about DraftKings for Sunday. So I want to give props to last week's winner in our DraftKings contest, which is Barger B28 with 221 points. So congrats to them. And congrats to you, Chris. You cashed. You beat me. We both cashed, but you beat me.
I did. And that's the first. So that username, that user is in the lead for the Skype session with me, right? We'll add up the total points gained between weeks 13 and 16, and whoever has the most points will wind up with a Skype session with me. So if you played in week 13, keep playing, because you never know whether you can hit a big week, and then we'll be Skyping one-on-one at some point. Dave, I know you consider that to be a life-changing phenomenon, experience.
I mean, it's the best thing for DraftKings for me. Like, some people go on to win $1 million. I just want the Skype call. So you should try it out, guys.
And so we go DraftKings.com or get the DraftKings app if you want to play. I mean, it's a $5 contest that we play every week. It's a pretty minimal investment, and DraftKings doesn't take any money from that $5. It all goes back to the winners, and they don't do that a lot. Usually they take a rake in these things. So yeah, we got a link posted for our private contest for week 14. It's $5 to play. You won't be able to search DraftKings to find it. You actually have to click the link that we're providing. And please do. If your season-long team's in the crapper, you've never played DraftKings before, it's a fun way to keep Sunday pretty fun.
Yeah, so come play with us, and we're going to reveal our lineups here. So you've got the inside scoop on at least 2 of 900 of your closest friends' entries.
Good point.
So we'll go quarterback on through. And in this crazy year of 2020, one thing I feel like I can rely on is, Chris, where'd you go at quarterback?
Well, every time I cash, I take Aaron Rodgers. So I think I'll just take Aaron Rodgers. There's an argument to be made that maybe the Lions are, well, they're susceptible to everything, but they're really susceptible to the run. That maybe the right way to go here is Aaron Jones, but I'm just going to not leave the horse that keeps cashing for me. So I've got Aaron Rodgers.
So I'm hoping that the Bears gear behind me isn't listening, but I also went with Aaron Rodgers. You beat me last week, and I'm like, I'll just follow Chris's footsteps. It's working out for him.
I tried to replicate my lineup from last week as much as physically possible. Honestly, the top dollar guys didn't attract me, except for Rodgers, didn't attract me that much. I was interested in Kirk Cousins a little bit because going to Tampa Bay sounds like it should be hard, except for, like I talked about on the podcast on Thursday, that pass defense has been horrible. The row, like 5 or 6 quarterbacks in a row, except for Teddy Bridgewater, have gone crazy against that Tampa Bay secondary. They're going to blitz Kirk Cousins, but I could see using Cousins. And I'll tell you, if you really wanted to spend down, You can get a starting quarterback for $50, $100. And he's a quarterback who will actually throw deep. He did all week last week against Minnesota. An incredible number of deep throws. Most of them stunk, but at least they're taking a chance. Mike Glennon, if you wanted to be able to pay for other players, I mean, it's certainly much more of a GPP type play, but I won't be shocked if Glennon has a pretty good game. Tennessee's defense stinks, and I won't be shocked if like the Millionaire Maker winner has Glennon at quarterback.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not bold enough to do it in our 900 person contest, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd you go for running back?
So I couldn't afford anything. So let's just move on. No, I have some cheaper guys that I considered in addition to the three that I picked. One was a flex. But the one that stands out, I think the one, I don't know, you can tell me whether you think he's going to be among the most drafted players in DraftKings this week. David Montgomery again, like I said, sort of replicating my lineup from last week. What is he? 6,500. It's more, right? He's had a couple of good games in a row. 2 games ago against Green Bay, it was really just one run. But the Lions game, he played well. I mean, it's an easy matchup, but so is the Texans. So I'm okay there. And I'll take J.D. McKissic. No Antonio Gibson because he has an injured toe. And in PPR, McKissic feels like gold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you said Montgomery because before looking at the pricing, I kind of thought there just based on the matchup. I was like, yeah, I'll ride Montgomery again. The price increase scared me off a little bit. And I had the echoes of this show a few weeks ago when I was picking like crappy quarterbacks and you were saying, Dave, do you get nervous? And I was okay with quarterback. I got a little nervous paying that for Montgomery, but again, that's probably my like reverse homerism showing where I just went.
I mean, not just reverse homerism. I mean, I understand that you're skeptical of all things Bears and you probably have the right to be, but I don't think we think Dave Montgomery's great. Right. I mean, I think it's like a marriage of convenience. So I understand why you'd be scared off by that. If like the true nature of the player shows up, you lose.
So I completely betrayed my roots, and I also paid for Aaron Jones. I went Packer heavy.
Wow. Do you have? I'm just going to spoiler alert. Do you have Adams?
I do. I did it all. I went full in against Detroit. It was very expensive.
That is expensive. Wow. So we're really going to get some value plays out of you.
Well, yeah, we'll see. They'll be cheap. We'll see if they're values. But
right. So, yeah, I shouldn't have said that way. Yeah.
So I played Aaron Jones, and then I've got Myles Gaskin in right now if he's going to play at 5,600, but he's questionable, so I might have to, as we say, tink on Sunday if I need to.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. I mean, I don't have a lot of indication that he's not going to play, but I guess, we don't really know anything, but there seemed to be nothing in the actual game film that indicated he was really hurt. I think this is probably midweek practice rest type stuff. People watching this on Saturday will be like, you dummy, don't you know he has a broken
That's why I always
femur.
mention it now, because they're like, his foot fell off. Well, you guys recorded.
That's right. His foot fell off. I almost said something dirty, and I stopped myself from saying this is a family show, Harris. What are you doing? It's a family. You gotta have to get the Loza bleep. You're gonna have to bleep me out. Oh my God, just unacceptable. All right, other players I considered. I mean, if you for example took a cheap quarterback, maybe not Glennon, but Cousins is relatively inexpensive. Derrick Henry is screaming to take him. He obviously was very disappointing last week, but Jacksonville is a very good matchup. I don't think Jacksonville's quit. For a 1-11 team, I mean, they went to overtime. They scored 8 points at the very end of a game. They played as well as they probably could play against Minnesota, but I trust Henry's going to go nuts. I'm with you. Aaron Jones against the Lions, 100% could see using that. I think I didn't say Gaskin, but Gaskin's a pretty good call too. Naheem Hines. I think I just mentioned it when I was talking about Dobbins. The perceived split between Taylor and Hines is probably too big. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of deference given to one or the other. And if one of them posts a big run, suddenly he's the lead back that day, and you're getting him for 5,200. And this is one where I'm too scared to do it. I had him in my lineup, Dave. I'm too scared to get the 2 points. But I just watched every single Raven who touched a football be able to run against the Cowboys. Giovanni Bernard at 5,000 screams value.
Hey, I want to throw you a curveball here and just ask, because you got some good values there at 5,000, 5,200. Jamal Williams is 6,000. What? Why?
I mean, part of it is that he catches balls, so in PPR he's a little more valuable, and also they're still mixing into their algorithm is that San Francisco game where Aaron Jones wasn't going to play and then did, but Jamal Williams played a lot more, and even the week after that, the game, I'm not sure if it was the week or the game after that, Williams played a lot. So I think there's just noise in the data. Williams plays. He plays between, I don't know, 20%, a quarter and a third of the snaps. He plays. Probably that is just an algorithm thing.
Yeah.
Don't play Jamal.
No,
Williams.
I was paying up for Aaron Jones and went, his backup's 6,000?
Yeah.
His backup's more than both the
Right,
Indianapolis backs? Yeah. Like, it really, I had to make a note about that. And I said Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Where'd you go for wide receivers?
You did. You said it right. What's happened to you? Not only is he learning Spanish, he's learning U.S. geography.
Just like had a big talk with myself in the mirror in the morning. Like, you're not going to mess it up today, Dave. You can do this.
You're not going to say, you're like lip is trembling. You're not going to let him take your dignity. You want to talk about wide receiver? I have Davante Adams. You do too.
I do.
Yeah. He's kind of good. He's kind of good. I don't know if you heard it on the podcast on Monday. Jamie Eisenberg from CBS was on, and we were reviewing the Eagle-Packer game, and he said, Chris, it's very obvious the Packers have decided they want Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP. Everything inside the 10-yard line is a touchdown pass. And I was like, I mean, that's exactly the kind of storyline that I find not appealing. Not like I don't know what they think personally, but I think that's hilarious. So my other pick, I spent for Thielen because, like I said, if I went Cousins, I really would go Thielen. One thing to take note of is that Justin Jefferson's $400 more than Adam Thielen. There's 7,400 and 7,000, two of the 5 or 6 most expensive receivers. Which, holy moly! Not that I don't like Jefferson, but if Thielen's cheaper, I'm going to take Thielen. I think you can beat Tampa Bay through the air. I don't think you're going to beat them on the ground. And then I needed someone a little less expensive, and there's actually good value at wide receiver. I'm interested. I know you can't spend for too much more. I have T.Y. Hilton at 5,100, but I was choosing from in that price range among some guys I liked.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what made this work for me. Like, I put in the expensive stack and thought, well, I'll probably I have to back off as I fill it in. But I went with Corey Davis at 5,700, so it's going to be boom bust. Sure. But my Packers guys are going to be pretty chalky. I kind of need a little boom bust in here. And then Tim Patrick down at 4,200. So I had to pay down, but
yeah, he's on my list. You're gonna see my list of 4,200 for Tim Patrick. It is a scary play in that you can get 2 points. It's Drew Lock. He's not good, but Patrick's not going to have overwhelming volume. But I think he's the best receiver they have. If I was going to pay up a little more, Mike Evans at 6,600 stands out as. I'm surprised the price is that low. It's not like I think people are disrespecting him or whatever, but he strikes me as a wide receiver 1 in an offense that's, going to throw to him. But in that same neighborhood, the Hilton neighborhood is 5,100, and that's a sucker play, right? I'm just buying into 1 week of him looking like 2016 T.Y. Hilton. But Kiki Cutie's 5,000, and I think that's going to be so chalky. If we come out of the weekend and it turns out that QT was the most owned wide receiver coming off a 140-yard game at $5,000, would you be shocked?
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I looked there pretty early because he was only 3,500 last week. He jumped 1,500. That's a big jump on DraftKings, which makes sense. Like, it was a big game. I tend to stay away from the move ups. Like with Montgomery, where I went, "Ooh, that was a real escalation." I want to find a discount.
Yeah,
but even at 5,000, he's still cheaper than a lot of other third string wide receivers.
Correct. Right. And he's if Cooks doesn't play, he's the 1, right? And Cooks probably will play, so he's probably the 2. And I'll just throw in a word for Mike Williams at 4,700. It's 2 points or it's 23 points. You know that, but at 4,700, I considered him at least.
That makes sense. Who'd you go for a tight end?
Chicago Bears best tight end maybe in their franchise history, Cole Kmet, obviously. How could you pick anyone else? Oh, also, I had no money left and had to spend $2,900 at tight end.
The extra knife twist about the best franchises. Didn't the Bears start the year with like 4 tight ends on roster? Like, on top of it.
Horst Donovan, man. Horst Donovan's great. You kidding me? The truth is that Cole Kmet is playing more than Jimmy Graham now. He's played this past week. He played 50-something snaps. Graham played like 30. It's switching in Kmet's direction. I don't want to use him, obviously. I'm not spending money at tight end.
Yeah, I spent the same price. I went with Jordan Akins, so 2,900 is the exact same price. I felt a little foolish because I really spent time at tight end, which I never do, and I looked at Reed, I looked at Thomas, and I even looked at Schultz, and they were all in the $3,000 range. And then I just could not even afford to break $3,000. But I was looking at some guys and go, which one's going to hit? And then I went, nah, touchdown or bust. I don't care.
Cole Kmet. Tunyon. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't get Tunyon because you have every Green Bay Packer. I'm surprised you didn't get Brett Favre. Was Antonio Freeman not available? But yeah, Tunyon was stood out to me as still a pretty good value. That's a good offense, and he's been pretty consistent. But yeah, I think you nailed the names I would consider too.
Where'd you go with flex?
If I'm gonna tank, I think it might be here. Because he's the same, I believe he's the same. He's 4,700. I did do Ty Johnson, another dude who's probably going to be dramatically owned very, very highly because he's coming off a big week and Frank Gore is hurt. We need to find out for sure. As of our recording this, we don't know that Frank Gore isn't playing. So I don't love it because it just feels like you're chasing after something behind an offensive line that's just not good, and everything kind of came together at the right time against the Raiders, and it almost certainly won't recur. But if he's a starting running back at 4,700, it is awfully attractive.
Yeah. I went with someone you already touched on. I played J.D. McKissic at 4,900. So.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm looking at Mike Williams is 4,700. Mike Williams could easily be my flex there as a boom bust type play. Like, doesn't Mike Williams obviously have more boom potential than Ty Johnson? Of course he does. He's got a worse floor if Johnson's really so I need to talk myself into not tanking there, I think.
Yeah. It's a little bit sunnier. You're busy. You're busy doing The Film Don't Lie on Sunday. You won't get to tink. You'll be fine.
Right. The tanking needs to happen like on Saturday night. Yeah. If I'm going to do it at all, it's going to happen before Sunday. No question about it. So for defense, I betrayed everything I hold dear because I had $100 extra. So rather than pick the bottom ranked Lions and have them go against every Green Bay Packer that you're starting, I went one notch up. I don't know. I don't feel great about them either, but they did me okay last week. I did the Jets 2,100. They scored some fantasy points. Don't pay for defense. Oh, except for weight, maybe.
So last week, I betrayed everything we stood for. We both said Jets, and I had like $500 left over when I came into Tinker.
Well, I remember that. Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. I liked my lineup. I wasn't going to Tinker. So I paid up for the Patriots, and it was great. They got 31 fantasy points.
That's how you cash.
That is.
Yeah, your lineup wasn't that good.
No.
Yeah, it was,
Eckler didn't work out. DK didn't work out. And because the Patriots played later in the day, I was watching the Jets get you 14 fantasy points. And I was going, what have you done, Dave? You paid up for less. And then 31 got me to cash. I still want Lions right now, but I've got $300 left over. Even though mathematically it doesn't make any difference that I'm playing my defense against my guy, I'm going to change that. But right now we'll just sit until I think on Sunday. Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, at least we get to have a graphic on the screen that indicates we both haven't totally sold out. So by you saying Lions, even if it winds up not being true eventually.
Yeah, I haven't totally sold out by playing Lions and Packers. I haven't sold out my core of everything I care about.
Oh, man, that is selling out a little bit. Yeah, you don't even have David Montgomery. I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore.
Maybe I'm just recovering. That's really what we're finding out. Recovering Bears fan. Well, thank everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please come play with us. The link is down below. Come play with us for week 14. They don't take a rake. It's a lot of fun. And if you don't have an account,
right, and
join.
And yeah, I was sorry to interrupt you, but exactly, like, use that code HarrisTube if you're going to sign up based on the fun that we've just had. If you'd like to play against us, if you get the DraftKings app, or if you go to DraftKings.com, use the promo code HarrisTube, because that gives the YouTube channel a little bit of extra credit in DraftKings' mind, which is how they continue to sponsor us. And we would love that to continue to happen. So make sure you use that promo code HarrisTube.
Yeah, it gives you guys a little extra credit to come play a free contest too. So that's where it really matters for you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the contest on Sunday.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.